This is Karen with newclevelandradio.net, and I get to bring you another entertainment podcast today. My guest is Lexx Lear. Hopefully, I said that right, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. I'm terrible with names, and I gave somebody a new name yesterday, and I have no idea where I came up with that. But, anyways, um, we like to have fun on this podcast because so many of us think that we know all the music that's out there. We know the composers, the songwriters, the uh, performers, and the reality of it is there are so many talented people in this world producing on a daily basis. And so I get excited when a PR firm like yours has asked me to interview you because it's gives me that chance to know you better, but also let my listeners know that, hey, this talent exists. So let's follow her. So as I've read your bio, it says that at about age 11, Lex, you knew that you wanted to be a performer. So how'd you know it?
It's something that I can't even explain with words. I'll do it the best that I can. It's a knowing without knowing. It's a feeling that in your soul is like, you know what, this is my happy place. And when I sing and I perform, I felt excited. I would get butterflies. And it was a passion that whatever else I did in my life, I never felt that same passion for. And I just kept on going back to music, and I would like, this is my passion. This is my passion. And I was like, what am I doing? I got to go for my passion.
Sure. So what did your
Um,
parents think? Because I know my youngest son, he he was basically the same way. Um, and we sort of looked at him and said, well, we'd love for you to pursue your music, but you need to have a fallback. And he'd look at us and he'd say, just don't worry, don't worry. Um, so how did your parents react?
well, at the time, so I had to grow up really fast. Um, I was a competitive cheerleader, and that was my first form of performing. So I was an extreme all-star, and I never really did music around like my mom and my dad or anything like that. I would always sing by myself. So it was never, hold on one second.
Oh,
I'm
that's
Jessica.
okay.
um, so she wants to play ball,
Oh,
but
that's okay.
so I never really got the chance to open up to them about me wanting to be a performer. And at like age 11 and 12, I didn't have my parents in my life. So I literally had to go to the studio by myself. And that's when I recorded, and I was like, I like this, this is where I want to be at. So it really wasn't a matter of what they thought about it. It was, I'm going for this, and here I am.
I love it. So, I love what you said that you didn't perform music around your family. Okay. My son was and still is to a great degree the same way. When he rehearses, when he is preparing for something, he does it all in his head.
Yeah.
He doesn't even sit in the room and really sing. And I remember one day we were driving to his uncle's studio and he was going to do his first recording. And it was a song that he and his uncle had produced together. And we said, did you prepare? And he goes, leave me alone. I've been preparing. And I turned around the car and I said, no, you haven't been. And he goes, I prepare in my head, Mom. And from that day forward, that's how I noticed it. So you're familiar with that kind of preparation.
Yes, I am. A lot of it is more mental. You have to mentally prepare yourself to perform, to go in the studio. When I go in the studio, it has to be a certain vibe. I like to set the vibe. I don't like a lot of people in my session. I block it out. I let the my engineer know. I'm like, hey, listen, Dilly, private sessions only. I don't want people in and out. And I just kind of like check out of reality and I check into my imagination, and it's all in here. And I don't do a lot of like talking or expression out loud until I know like, okay, this is the direction I'm going in. And it's more mental. It's all mental for
I love
me.
that. I love that because most of us don't understand that. Okay. Um, I was in choir when I was in high school, and um, yeah, we would have to practice, but practice out loud. Nobody ever told us how to prepare ourselves. We just that we'd get on stage and we would perform, and then it was over. Um, but I love the fact that you can be so in tune with it, and that's how you're bringing all your creative juices out for all of us to appreciate. So, describe to our listeners, what is your genre of music? Do you have a specific genre?
I don't have a specific genre, but I stay within, I want to say, a matter of three genres.
Okay.
I would describe it as a pop, dance pop, and deep house. So
So there's a
it's
lot of energy.
yes, there's a lot of energy, and then I have some tracks in the past that I've created that are considered more of like a deep house. Um, but as an artist, I don't like to put myself in a box of a genre. So I just go in there and I create, and I'm like, okay, I'm considered pop, I just put it as pop. But for me, I'm not really labeling myself as one genre. It's really hard for me to try and stay in that box when my creativity is flowing. It kind of takes
Absolutely.
away from your creativity.
And, I think that's pretty important because sometimes we look at those performers who are, as we say, really at the top of the performing charts. And I hate to say it, but one song sounds like another. And
Yeah.
the way they perform it is almost, very routine. And that's okay for some, but the creativity that you bring to your music, um, I find that even more exciting because I don't know what the next song is going to sound like. And, you know, I may not like song one, but oh, song two is perfect. And three, oh, that's even better. So, kudos to you for not falling into, oh, I have to only sing one genre. So, tell me a little bit about uh, how you got to where you are today, because it wasn't at 11 years old. That was the beginning stages. At 17, going to the studio was another beginning stage. But
Mhm.
now you've been out there producing and performing. So, how did you get here? It's hard work.
It is hard work, and it's silencing your self-doubt, and it's knowing that I don't have to wait on anybody to make anything happen. And I might fail, and that's okay. I'm all for failing while falling forward. I've learned a lot of that. I've spent a lot of money that I haven't seen back. And as an artist, it takes a lot of money to get here too. And you have to be really invested, and you have to believe in your craft because nobody's going to believe in it at first. And it's very discouraging in the beginning because people don't see your vision that you have in here. And it's really hard to explain it to someone who doesn't see the world the way that you see it. So for me, I was like, you know what? I have to just stay in my box and create and do my own artist development. And I'm going to find the producer. I'm going to find that engineer. I'm going to keep on working on the look that I want to look like, that makes me feel good, that when I come out as a whole, I'm happy with it, and bringing my visions to life and just everything. I just know that the resources are out there, and as an independent artist, you can go find them. And as you go, you won't always find the best one first, but they teach you what you're not like, okay, I'm definitely not going to work with a videographer who does work like that. I'm going to go work with a videographer that does work like this, you know, and
Exactly.
it's a lot of trial and error. And the journey has been beautiful. It's just keep going. I just keep going.
Well, and you know what you're talking about obviously works in your industry, but it's the same message for any of us, no matter what our, path and dream is. Um, I heard somebody say the other day, I've really wanted to start a podcast, Karen, but you're 10 years ahead of me. I'm never going to get there. And I said, well, not if you don't try. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, I'm still not at the level of many others who are out there, but we have to design our own path, learn along the way. And I agree with you. Failure makes us better because we're able to look at, okay, I did that. I thought that was right, but you know what? Maybe right for somebody else, but not for me.
Mhm.
Um, and I don't know about you, but I was brought up in a home where um, you just, not that I got in trouble for it, but you didn't want to fail at anything because you thought that I would think my parents are not going to be happy with me. And it took me a long time to realize if I would have said, yeah, I failed this, but this is what I learned and this, how I'm going to do it differently in the future, they would have been ecstatic. But instead, I just took those cautionary steps because, you know, I don't want to fail. But I've done a lot of it in my life. And so you brought up something very interesting that um, there are people out there, producers, engineers, um, videographers that can help you with your career,
Mhm.
but they're not all made the same, are they?
No, they are not. Definitely not. And you have to you have to work with the ones that are going to bring your vision to life.
That's okay.
Yeah. She's a Sheba and she's a diva. But yeah, because I've worked with a lot of people and some of them will, oh, well, you should do it this way. No, I'm not going to do it that way. I'm going to do it the way that we spoke about. And I've just learned to only work with the people who can see the vision that I'm trying to create. I do take criticism as input, but I don't let it deteriorate me from what I'm trying to do and what I'm trying to put out there, the message and the overall image and how I want it to look. Like I'm not going to let someone else take away from my dream just because
Absolutely.
of their perception of what it should look like. So,
Absolutely.
you
That
just
is
gotta
beautiful.
stand firm. You gotta stand firm. It's really hard in this industry to stand firm with so many different opinions. People are so opinionated. We all are, and but as a creator, you just gotta stick to your creativity and be like, listen, I understand that that's not the way that you see it, but let's just bring it to life. And then you talk to me about it afterwards, you know?
I love that. And
Yeah.
a lot of performers and um, songwriters, what I have heard is that today this is your vision and you've put it together and you lay down those tracks and hey, this is it. But 5, 10, 15 years from now, many of them will listen to it and go, you know what? I think there's a better way of doing that.
Hmm.
And they just redo it. And I never totally understood that. Um, but my brother, who's a music producer, was explaining to me that, it's just like everything else in life. You know, today, this is the hairdo that I want to wear. 5 years from now, I may decide that I'm going to chop it all off. And,
Yes.
and that's okay. And that's the same thing with our art that, you know what? Um, it's okay if it evolves, but
Hmm.
you're the one who has to make that choice, not the rest of us.
And another thing, learning as doing things and moving forward, you get better with every project because you open and you unlock new doors in yourself that you never knew existed. Like, oh, I can do that on camera. Oh my God, I can do, you know what? I'm going to do choreography next time. oh, I can sing like that in the studio. Oh my God, I didn't even know I could, like that sounded really great. I'm going to keep working on that, and it's just you're supposed to evolve. And it's okay to look back at your work and be like, whoa, what was I thinking? But it's also like, it's a very humbling experience. It also shows you how much you've grown and that you did that. Like you put that work in to get where you're at. And it's also like you go, girl, you
I
go.
love it. I love that. So tell us about this new music that you have going out.
So the song that I released is called Vacation, and we did record the music video, so that'll be ready in about 2 weeks also. Super fun, super playful. The song is super poppy. It's for the imagination. It's super catchy. Once you listen to it, it's just kind of like, okay, it's in your head.
I
But
love it.
yeah, I mean, I created it because I took a trip to the Bahamas with my son, who's 12, and I was on the plane ride back, and it was actually during spring break while I was there, and all these kids were just partying it up on the beach. Like, oh my gosh,
Oh,
it was wild. I was looking out there and I was like, oh my gosh, look at these kids. They are living their best life. And I don't know, I got inspired on the way back. I started writing the song and I was like, vacation getaway. First class got me in the clouds. I was like, ooh, this is a song. Like, I don't know. I just got inspired and I wrote it and I called up my engineer and I said, hey, listen, I'm gonna fly up and let's record this. And I always create everything from scratch. I'll get in there and I'll have a melody and I'm like, okay, let's build off of this. And my engineer and me, we have a chemistry of where we're at with everything. And he just, we just kind of, we get it, we make
I
it
love
happen.
it. So you mentioned your son who's 12.
Yes.
Is Does he look forward to having a music career just like mom?
Actually, he's like more into movies and
Ah,
filming and editing, and he's so bright for his age. So as a mom who's in the industry, music industry, and that I've been on set with green screen and psych walls and been around a lot of videographers who've done big work too. I've seen like their equipment and stuff. So I told him, I was like, if you're serious about this, I'll invest into your craft, but show me that you're serious. Everything you need to learn is at the tips of your fingertips. On now everything's technology.
right.
YouTube, TikTok, you can learn anything nowadays. So I told him go learn it. And I told him, I said, I want 5 videos because he has a YouTube channel. I said, make me 5 videos. I'm going to review every single one. And then I'll let you know if we're ready to launch your YouTube channel. And he did.
I
And he's
love it.
gotten so much better. He does green screen work now. I got him a big old green screen, all the camera equipment. And I just tell him, I'm like, you're going to be so great. You're going to be a big movie director.
So I certainly appreciate something that you're talking about here in raising your son. Um, so many of us, we have a child, we look at that child and we want the best for them. The first day we see them, I want you to have the best life. But then as they start growing up, we sometimes start directing them on how to have that best life.
Yeah.
Um, and I know my parents did that with me and my brothers. My one brother, said, "No way, you're not going to tell me," and he went and did his thing, and um, he learned everything from scratch, and has done fantastic. My other brother and I, we were more of trying to please mom and dad, but as we got older, we realized, you know, there's other ways of pleasing them. We didn't
Yeah.
have to fit into their mold. And raising my 2 sons, um, I took the approach, yeah, I want you to be happy. Experiment. Tell me what
Mhm.
it is that you like. Um, I can't support you, for the rest of your life, but I can lead you in a path where you get to test out the waters and see what works for you. And I think if more parents did that today, we'd have more young people who would feel so much better about themselves because I know that my son, when he is out there, whether it's in music or sports, or he also does podcasting, when he's doing one of those three, he is in his own element, and he's his worst critic too, which I think is very good for all of us in the industry. So I'm really excited about vacation. I can't wait to see it. Um, I was given a link to listen to it, and I was bopping while I was listening. Um, what do you have on the horizon coming up? Anything besides this?
I do. I actually have a number of singles lined up to drop, and I'm gonna create my visions to every single one. Because now I'm in a place now where I'm like, it's fun for me. It is a marathon. If it's a lifestyle and this is something that you're doing for the rest of your life, I feel like take your time and bring your real visions to life. So that's what I'm doing. And the next project that I will be dropping is going to be called Closer. And that song is definitely more on the dance pop side, but it does have like a touch of like reggaeton to it. So it's another catchy one. It's playful. It's going to be a lot of dancing, a lot of choreography going on. I'm actually doing choreography class weekly with my choreographer to get ready for the video.
I
So
love it.
yeah,
So you're constantly evolving, learning new things, and
yeah.
bringing your vision to light. And we just can't wait to see you. Hopefully, you'll go on tour. You'll end up in Cleveland so that we can see you in person. If not, how can our listeners find you?
So actually, I will be putting together a tour for next summer, but until then, across every platform, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, it's Lex Lear across every platform, and my music is Lex Lear on every platform you can think possible as well.
I love
So
it.
it's very accessible.
Well, we're going to spread the word, and we hope to have you back, and maybe we'll have your son back as well, and
Oh yeah, that would be.
talk about how at 12 years old your vision can grow. I think that would be terrific.
I think
So
that would be amazing. He would love that.
wonderful. Well, you take care, and we will talk to you again soon. Thank
Thank you.
you.
You too. It was a
Bye.
pleasure. Thank you. Bye.